Kendra Dawsey, and here's your host, Kendra Dawsey.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Zach. How are you doing on this lovely New England evening? It's evening.
Yes, and it is New England for me, at least. I'm doing all right. You know, we're halfway through the week, and I think it's, we never planned this, but I think it is good that Left Night is on a Wednesday because it is just sort of like
what?
It is the point of the week where people feel like sort of the most like the most defeated, but also like optimistic.
Yeah, because it's like, man, Wednesday really sucks, but there's 2 more days until the weekend. I got what you mean. It is a hump day. It's straight up a hump day. But one thing to talk about, I don't know how many people are watching, but if you're watching and you live in the Boston area, and if you are tired, want to do something fun, one thing is Zach and I are on the same show in Somerville over at Somerville's South Street Farm at 138 South Street. We are going to be on a comedy show that is a fundraiser for Groundwork. Groundwork Somerville is very fun. It's really cool. You could go to my Instagram bio for a link to tickets. And yeah, Zach, do you have anything to add?
I'm also posting about it a bunch, so you can find it there. The tickets are cheaper if you buy them ahead of time. So please go on there and get yourself some tickets. And it's a benefit show. And they do good work in terms of urban gardening. I know that the food pantry that my girlfriend volunteers for, they get a lot of their donations from Groundwork. So it's going to be for a good cause, and you don't get to see me perform stand-up that much, so.
Yeah, very, like, this is a once in a blue moon opportunity.
Yes.
It's outside too, so if you're worried about COVID, I mean, I know COVID's rough, but like it is outside, so there won't be like a collection of germs. It's $10 in advance, $15 at the door. All the money is going to go over to Groundwork Somerville, and it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be really cool. They do a lot of cool work, not only in food access, but also in youth programs. I think people think of Somerville as like all white. It is not. There's a lot going on, and we're going to have a good time. So, oh yeah, cool. Thank you for putting that link in.
Yeah. Check out the links that are in the chat right now.
Hell yeah. No, definitely come. Rumor has it there will be a dog there, and the dog will be very cute. Now that I promoted a show, let's get into talking about how America sucks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of apropos because I believe you wanted to talk about something like related to.
Yes, right? Actually, yeah, I did. I also, like, I've worked in like food access my entire life. I'm looking for a new career though, but I will talk about it. Let's talk about some things. Today we're going to talk about school lunch, everyone. So in the midst of the pandemic, there was a glimpse at just some good things. COVID tests and vaccines were free. People got money to stay at home and take care of themselves, and Donald Trump almost left this mortal coil. But of course, these good things that helped millions of people would have shrunk some rich guy's net worth by 1%, so they had to be stopped. One of these things is universally free school meals. A federal waiver that started in March 2020 allowed children, regardless of their family's income level, to have both breakfast and lunch at school. This was the first year in quite some time where millions of parents did not have to fill out an application proving that they were impoverished enough to deserve food. Before the pandemic, 21 million kids across the country accessed free or reduced school lunch, and that was before the wave of layoffs and inflations that has targeted families since. Of course, school food isn't known for being particularly good, especially if you attend a lower income school district, and that is definitely something that could be improved upon. However, the point still stands that for millions of children, school breakfast and lunch may be the only meals they're getting that day. And the USDA does have a lot of nutritional standards for these meals, so they're not perfect, but they're better than a kid eating nothing. But of course, now that the US seems to be on the brink of economic, environmental, and social disaster, Congress appears poised to let these waivers lapse by June 30th. The USDA and School Nutrition Association has urged Congress to do something, but to no avail. And most immediately, school staff, especially cafeteria staff, are worried about a lapse in summer meals. So that's a new thing, a relatively new thing depending on the school district, where kids could get meals during the summer. And I helped out a little bit with that thing in Chelsea, and supply chain issues leading to less availability for foods. So you may have noticed you can't find what you have at the grocery store, or things are more expensive. That is happening on a district level, and school district, nutritionists, advisors are really suffering. There is no world where access to free schools meals isn't good. It could help alleviate poverty. It increases a child's ability to learn. Children become healthier when they're able to eat. Like the George Carlin bit about how Republicans, and this could be extended to all politicians, don't care about children is almost trite at this point. The cruelty of those in power show no bounds. Of course, it would be expensive, but it would be a great help to this nation if children were allowed to eat 2 meals at minimum in schools, and if these waivers continued. We will be back after this commercial break.
So you take the toast and you put some butter on it. Now, you gotta make sure that you don't put too much butter on because it's gotta melt into the toast. Next thing after that is half a container of purple jelly.
Okay, you mean grape?
Yeah, I guess that's grape.
Hell yeah. I finally one that I recognize from Lissa's catalog of wacky commercial interludes.
Yeah, that's Joe Pera Talks to You.
Yes, great show. If anyone has not watched it, very, very great show.
It's a very good show. Also, that was on topic. It was about food.
Yeah.
Food is good. Yeah. She was talking about food.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody should be subsidized to make sure that they can make the perfect egg bite, much like Connor O'Malley's character on Joe Barrett Talks with You. Oh, hey, Kendra, things are happening this week.
They are happening. What things are happening this week, Zach?
Well, a lot of things are happening, and if anything that you can think of happened this week that you would like us to discuss, if you'd like our brilliant insight, as we always have on anything, please put it in the chat. Please let us know. Or you can do like Rachel just did and remind us that Connor O'Malley is a hunk.
Who is he? I was just gonna search his name.
Yeah, he was the one in the clip who was not Joe Pera.
Oh, okay. All right, that's valid. I was like, is he some politician who like humped his cousin? Like, who is he? That's such a generic name.
Okay, so before we can get to anything else, let's give the people what they want, because Rachel has brought up Supreme Court decisions happened this week. Do you know anything about the Supreme Court decisions?
I know that they're bad. I know that I think one I saw that was recently, that they recently decided is that it is not illegal for public contractors to make you sign a document to promise that you won't participate in boycott, divest sanctions, BDS, the boycott against Israel, which, pretty blatant. So
that was a circuit court. So that is on its way to the Supreme Court, because the ACLU is going to appeal it. But seemingly patently ridiculous assertion that boycotts do not fit the criteria of a First Amendment protection.
Yeah, it's like, what are they going to force you to do? Like, buy Victoria's Secret underwear? Like, it's so.
Yeah, they're going to stick a tube in your mouth and force feed you Sabra hummus because you're not allowed to boycott it.
The visceral feeling I had at that is just like, ugh. Yeah, no, they're going to shove Pillsbury like things. All of these are things on BDS. They're going to shove Pillsbury like dough in your mouth. But yeah, boycotts are the First Amendment. There's all this dumb talk about like cancer culture and all that, and then the circuit court is like, yeah, actually, to work for the government, you need to not do BDS in your own personal time. Like it's absurd. It is absurd. The courts mean nothing, especially now. They're just going to keep people. They're just there to like keep power where it is. It's there. No one there has any interest in the law.
Yeah, it's a frustrating reminder that there are no actual standards or there's no very like principled decisions being made in this country. Nobody's doing anything based on any sort of sense of like the justice of like people reference the Constitution, but mostly when they're referencing the Constitution, they're just saying the old thing of the ways what things were. It doesn't. Yeah. There's no appeal to any sort of like greater sense of justice or anything like that. It's all nonsense. It's all kayfabe.
It's all nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't even know the other. I know they were all messed up. There was one that like it's probably gonna fuck gay people over. So good luck to me out there.
Happy Pride Month.
God, I don't know. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said Happy Pride Month.
Oh yeah, Happy Pride Month. The Supreme Court hates me. I don't even know. I have been not like I go on Twitter and it's just here's everything bad that's happened.
It's pretty gnarly out there.
Yeah.
A cool thing that's happening is the railway strike in England going on right now, which we don't usually have positive stories about that weirdo island, but there's some cool railway strikes.
Yeah, that is one good thing. Do you know like what kind of where they're at in that strike? I'm gonna look it up on Wikipedia actually.
I don't totally know. I saw Piers Morgan, one of the just sort of like most noxious forces in any sort of political discussion, grilling the head of the railway union because on his personal Facebook, his profile picture was of a villainous character from a British cartoon.
Wait, your audio was in and out, so I heard Piers Morgan and then like static and then a villain on a British cartoon, which is accurate. I think I got all of it.
Well, no, he was the head of the union, the rail union. His personal Facebook has the picture on it is like his profile picture is of this character from a villain from a British cartoon that like he vaguely looks like him, so it's a joke. So
nice.
But like Piers Morgan is like trying to grill him on whether or not he's actually a supervillain. Or it's really awful.
Yeah.
But hey, and there was the very funny thing that happened, which was that the production of the London production of Les Mis was firing up all these tweets about how they were going to keep going despite the rail strike, and it's like, do you know what the show is about? Like they're like using like promotional things from the show to like talk about how they're going to persist on and continue to do the show.
Cool. Okay, I changed my internet so I could hear you now. Sorry. I was like, this is okay. Sorry, I was also trying to load the United Kingdom National Rail Strike for more info on it. Which they are demanding a 7% pay increase to keep up with rising inflation. Britain has the worst inflation out of the entire EU. Good luck with that. I hope I'm no longer cutting in and out. But yeah, God, I hope they win, because yeah, also more people use the train in Britain. It's not like here.
Right. And and there's like a whole lot of like I know that like large sections of trains in Britain, like under the age of neoliberalism, like we're all like privatized. I think, and that's like a whole thing. Like back when like Jeremy Corbyn was a guy who was allowed to be a prominent political voice over there, he was like always about, let's bring the trains back, let's nationalize them again, which, you know, seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But also, who are we to say? Because we can't get the trains working. In fact, here's a story. I thought I was going to transition to inflation, but instead I'm going to go into this one. They're cutting back T service because the new trains are all faulty.
Yeah. And both Zach and I both do not have cars, so this is fucking with our lives. I mean, I'm usually running late anyway, and there have been times I've been on the Orange Line and we'll just stop somewhere for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I have a show to get to. So it's annoying. I think it's also like there's not enough drivers for the trains.
There are multiple issues going on, but yes,
okay. It's amazing.
And multiple people pointed this out on Twitter. So this is not an original thought, but like this is a time at which gas prices are so high that if you wanted to incentivize people to ride the T more, that fixed cost would be sort of the sticking point if you can have reliable service. And
but now we don't, because Boston couldn't get its shit together. It's really
and also the vile Charlie Baker is the person who is in charge of that, and he is been more interested in selling the tea for parts than actually making it better.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you know, I guess, well, you're going into urban planning. I know I'm just some bitch with opinions, but like, I know it costs money to run a train station and stuff, but I feel like we could probably earn some of that money back if we have people who are like, I'll take the train instead of a car. And like, you know, like there'll be less pollution and whatever. Because it's,
but instead, and this is not just Chuck Baker, this is the country at whole, because Biden is considering lifting the gas tax to keep gas prices down. So money that would otherwise go to other places will just be used to try to incentivize more people to drive or to not think about the larger issues at hand here.
Yeah.
We cannot, this country can't picture a future. We can't say like, hey, this is going to be a rough summer, but what if we did the work now so that 2 years from now, you just wouldn't, like, there would be enough people with options that you wouldn't have to drive everywhere, that we had more, you know, more places, people able to live closer to city centers and more walkable areas and more comprehensive transit. But we can't think like that. We're too. I don't even know what the word is. Like, we're not. I don't want to say we're stupid, but like we've been just.
I think we're encouraged to consume, just even if it has negative effects on both us and the planet. Like, we're encouraged. Yeah, it's all about, like, you know, money. Like, oil companies don't get money if like public transit is good. And I mean, it's very disappointing, obviously, and it's not great. And of course, like, I know that high gas prices are hurting people who are dependent on cars. I know the infrastructure of like a lot of this country is car dependent. Like, you know, there's some places where if you take the bus, it could be 3 hours for something that's like a 10-minute, you know, car ride or whatever. But we live in Boston. Boston is allegedly a progressive place. A lot of people in Boston would probably be fine without a car. I see people try to drive in the North End, which just seems like the worst place to drive. It's like just like if you have a huge truck that you're not using for like manual or physical labor to transport things, and you're like just driving in the North End, it's like why?
Right. If you are driving in the North End, you better be dropping off the spaghetti.
You better be dropping off the wheat for the spaghetti that hopefully they make like in the kitchen themselves. But yes. Like
you'd like to hope that, yes.
Yes, you hope that. But like
okay, you're dropping off the tomatoes. Oh, and the garlic. They need unless they have like in the North End they might, I don't know, but the North End they might have like a separate like setting on the faucet, like hot and cold, and then one just shoots out garlic. I don't know. It's just you can only do that in areas that are Italian enough, and I think they might be Italian enough.
Eastie should have one. Eastie used to be so Italian.
That's true.
But now it's so like Central American. It's like cortado comes out or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's don't drive. If you could avoid it, don't drive in the North End. I don't know why people do. There are some places in Boston where like even when I had a car, I was like, I'm not driving there because it makes. Oh, I said cortado. I meant curtido. I'm sorry. It makes no sense to drive. There's so many places where it just does not make sense to drive. So like, why are you? For what reason? What, you're gonna like stress yourself out trying to look for parking for like 10 minutes when you could have taken the T and it would have taken the same amount of time, and you like didn't have to like go through hordes of tourists trying to look at Paul Revere's house. It just seems simpler. Right. I don't know. That's me going off as a tour guide.
Yes. Well, there is a very interesting side of that where we really don't do much to disincentivize people from having cars in the city the way that we probably should. There probably should not be very many streets in the North End where it's legal to drive a car or at least a personal vehicle, and there should definitely be some sort of like if you want to park on the street, a residential parking permit is $0, and that is public space that is being used, that you're not paying any money to be able to use. So we could do something about this, and we could plan this so that person doesn't have to make the stupid decision they made. The decision is made and incentivized for them. But then that would require us asking a little bit more from the people who have enough money to be asked for more.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, like people will complain, but like there's so many reasons to complain. I'd rather have like people who don't need cars, who live in the North End and have a car and don't need it, complain about when they already are complaining about trying to find parking, than like people who take the bus and take the T being like, I am late for work because of the reduced service, Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Anyway, what else is happening? We have a few moments left. What else is going on?
I assume we don't want to talk about inflation anymore, right? Are we good on inflation?
We don't have to talk about inflation. There's like a lot of cool. There's a lot of really cool like unions starting up though. I think in Maryland, the first Apple store voted to unionize, I believe.
Yes, an Apple store for the first time unionized, and a Chipotle for the first time unionized.
Hell yeah. Yes. So I'm excited about that. That is probably that's probably what is needed. I hope Howard Schultz cries himself to sleep. I think there are 3 more Starbucks stores have unionized. If I could only go to Starbucks stores that are unionized, I totally would. Dunkin' should go next. Dunkin' should unionize next, honestly.
I would like to see that. I would be.
Yeah. I'm not the person I say, of course I say this as someone who is not currently a union organizer, and like if there are ways I could support that effort, I feel like my background probably isn't conducive to making people in Dunkin' start a union, but they should start a union.
Right. Or if you're somebody who wants to salt, go salt at Dunkin'.
Go encourage people to unionize.
Yeah, go. Well, I mean, while you work there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, if anybody out there is watching and they're in between jobs or they don't know what to do next for work or whatever, talk to a union person about salting, which they'll basically give you the exact way that you can go into a new company, and especially like something that's full of working people, and you can do the work while you're there to deliberately place the idea of unionization in that industry.
Yeah, and agitate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be good. This is just talking about me. This is people should salt. I personally don't think I would be good at salting because I am already bad at social interaction and having the pressure of like, oh, if you fuck this up, there won't be a union. I think that would make it worse. I think I'd fall apart under pressure, and I just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would be bad at salting because I have no chill, and I would just like day 2, I will be like talking about communism and just not I'm just laying it on thick like the day after I meet these people. And it will not. They'll just be like, that guy's a weirdo.
Well, but if anyone out there is watching and you're charming and you're like nice and all of that, and you think you'd be good at salting, please do it. It is important. I'd be happy. I like donate to strike funds. I try to do what I can. I think I am too socially awkward to be in front, like on the front stage of the revolution. Like, let me tech the revolution. You know what I mean? Let me do like sound design for the revolution. let me do stage crew for the rev.
Right. When you say that though, you certainly make it sound like the revolution is going to be televised.
Oh, you're right. And Gil Scott Heron let us know that it will not be televised. Joe Zalojo, is that your mom, Zach?
Of course, that is my mom saying Zach is charming and nice.
You could salt Zach. You're charming and nice.
Thanks.
Work at Dunkin' Donuts in your free time.
All right, let's plug our show or your show that I am on Friday one more time, and then we'll get out of here.
So Friday, someone's gonna do graphic design for the revolution. Hell yeah. So Friday, 7 p.m., we are doing an outdoor show that is also a fundraiser for Groundwork Somerville. They're a really awesome organization that does food access and youth programming and gardening work in Somerville. It's really cool. We talked about why food was important. If the government is going to be like, hey, you can't get food at school. It's going to be organizations like Groundwork Somerville that fills in the gap of people who are hungry and food insecure. So it's going to be a fundraiser. They're also going to be selling Groundworks wares and stuff like that, or things for donations. All proceeds will go to Groundworks, and it's also BYOB. So BYOB, and you could bring your own snacks. It's outside, so it's relatively better in terms of COVID. It's in a lovely little garden. It's very cute. And it should be a good time. So come through. I'm hosting. Also, it's going to be gay because I'm there and I make everything gay. Also, gardens are gay. So if you want a queer but not explicitly queer show, come to the show. You should come to the show for all sorts of reasons, but please come.
Plants
are so gay. They are so fucking gay. All right. I have a plant tattooed to me. That's how gay plants are.
Wow.
It's true. All right. I guess we can end on that note.
All right.
Plants are gay. Come to the show. Have a great night.